This is Euclid Book 5, proposition number 10, and we have three lengths here. This is 2 inches long, this is 1 inch long, this is 3 inches long, and we're saying that if A has a greater ratio to C than B has to C, then we can say that A is longer than B. Alright. Now, how do we prove all this? Okay. I'm going to try to hold this steady here. If A was not longer than B, then one of two possibilities would exist. A would be not as long as B, or A would be the exact same length as B. Well, we know that A is not the same length as B because the ratio of A to C and B to C would be also equal, and they're not. We already said that. And we can say that because of Euclid Book 5, proposition number 7. Okay? So, A is not the same length as B. A is not less. A is not quite. We can't say that A is less in length than B, because the ratio of A to C would be less than the ratio of B to C, and this is by Euclid Book 5, proposition 8. So therefore, A is not smaller than B, and it's not the same length as B. So therefore, A is longer than B. Okay. Now the next part of the proof says that if the ratio of C to A and C to B, okay, talk about those ratios right there. If the ratio of C to B is greater than the ratio to C to A, then the length of B is less than the length of A. Because if that were not true, then B would be the same length as A, or B would be longer than A. Well, we can first of all say that if B were the exact same size as A, then the ratio of B to C and A to C would be exactly the same. And they're not. And if B was longer than A, okay, and first of all, we can disprove that B is equal to A because we said that the ratio of B to C to B and A to C to A would be exactly the same, and that's according to Euclid Book 5, proposition number 7. Now, what about if B was longer than A? Well, if B was longer than A, then B would have a greater ratio to C would have a greater ratio to B than it would to A, and we already said that C has a greater ratio to A than it does to B. So therefore, that's not true. So therefore, the length of B is not as long as the length of A. And that's Euclid Book 5, proposition number 10 in a nutshell. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.